Hey, what up, my ladies?
Hello, everybody.
Is everybody having a great week so far?
Yes. Could someone please come take the Candy? Come take your weather back, please, and thank you.
Oh,
Yes, Candy, take this tropical storm crap back down to Florida, please. Thanks.
I don't need that. Remember,
We need
I was at the hurricane game Saturday night and sat there for 2.5 hours in a lightning delay. I don't want this weather.
That's true. You were there for. Did you get any cool lightning pictures?
No, because the lightning wasn't right by us. It was within a couple miles of the stadium. But so, for any of you that don't know, the Miami Hurricanes play all their home games at Hard Rock Stadium, which is where the Miami Dolphins play. So if you've been to the stadium, it's kind of not enclosed, but it does have a top kind of over the seats, and then there's an open roof in the middle. So over the field is all open roof. So to see, like, in a distance, you don't see that. So all of a sudden they come on, they had the team out, they were warming up, and then all of a sudden the team goes off and you're like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, rain delay. Or they're saying lightning in the area. Please, everybody that's in some of the seats have to move to the concourse. And then they allowed everybody back, and then they had to go back out because of the lightning in area. And I get it. They're just trying to be safe. But
right. Can you think of the lawsuit if that didn't happen?
Oh, I know. Mm-hmm. I know. But 2.5 hours later, we got to start the game.
So
Kansas City started the opening football game 45 minutes late because of a lightning storm that came over. So we're just back to 80-degree weather, and it's muggy. For those on the hair watch, yeah, it's a little frizzy because
I don't know what you're talking about at all.
I don't either. It's 88 degrees here right now.
I'm not gonna lie. Like Sunday, here's a very positive way to look at the Panthers game. The weather was phenomenal. It didn't rain, but we had all the breeze from the tropical storm, and it wasn't too hot. I mean, it was a great day for football. Like, now I know how people in San Diego feel.
So Joshua, I don't know how to dance salsa. I like chips and salsa, so that's why we went chicks and salsa.
Right. Can we also do bachata? And we also like chicks and salsa because chicks aren't always sweet. We're really spicy too. Thanks, Rudy. Rudy said that to me the other day, and I was like, oh, I like that. I'm stealing it. So.
Exactly why I came up with this name is because, hot takes, spicy attitudes, my red hair, tendencies at times. I mean, all of that played into the whole salsa thought process for us.
So Joshua comes from our channel. He watches Scott pretty religiously, and thank you for that, Joshua. But this is strictly us chicks talking sports, and we started our own show, Joshua, or I should say they started the show. I was pleasantly added, thankfully, yes. And so it's just chicks talking, and I've put it on our YouTube station so that everybody who subscribes to the South Florida Tribune could also see it. So I would say Joshua, Smoking Jay, and Scotty have been on here a couple times as guests. Yes, we do invite males as guests, but they're not a host. And if you want to see them, they'll actually be on the South Florida Tribune's Inside the Pigskin later after the show.
Yes, they will be on South Florida Tribune.
You got it.
So I'm going to throw a little bit here. This is also going to tell you how old I am. I mean, I kind of date myself. I remember my birthday is this week. So I remember as a little girl.
Candy.
No, you're not singing to me. Sorry.
Hey, Joshua, you want to smoke with us too? Or sing with us? That's how you're coming about Smoking Jay.
No, we're not singing this year. But we used to go play putt-putt on my birthday in long sleeve jackets and jeans. I cannot tell you that. I specifically remember being very, very cold, like on my 10th or 11th birthday. Like, it was cold.
Was it?
Oh yeah, like it was. We were up there and we're like wishing we had gloves. They were serving us hot chocolate. That cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the last time I've been wanting to wear something that warm on my birthday has been. It's been like, that's just how much of a shift it's been in the last decade or plus or so. But yeah, this is supposed to be fall weather. We were playing football, for goodness sakes. I want fall weather, please and thank you.
I'm just saying, it felt like fall weather to me.
Well, we had like 3 days of fall weather, and I was in love. And then he found us again, and I'm like, listen, go home.
However, Charlotte will be like 90 degrees on Thanksgiving, if that makes you feel any better. Candy feels my pain on that one. So, guys, we're going to talk a lot of football, a lot of sports tonight. And because we kind of had to rush Candy last week, we took the unanimous vote, and we're going to have Candy start us off. So. Hi, Jeremy. Yes, Josh, I'm in Charlotte. And thank you for spelling my name correctly. I love you for that.
Thank you.
Hello, Jeremy.
Awesome. It's way better than me singing,
Or me, actually. Delos?
That's one of their other friends.
Oh, okay.
So.
Cool. Did he go to the game with me on Sunday? Because if he did he stay for the entire game like we did? Okay, I'm going to stop now. Candy, hit us with your conversation topics. Bring it, baby.
Oh my goodness. Where do we start? Let's start with Miami Hurricanes. They blew out, smoked out, however you want to say it, Ball State 62-0. 62 to, I mean, I felt bad. I felt bad for Ball State. Like, I can't imagine losing. I mean, I get it. But so the Hurricanes, knock on wood that they stay healthy. They're looking much improved. What was the score? 62 to Goose Egg. They're looking good. I don't want to jinx anything, but they're much improved. And what I will say is, for anybody that has a new head coach, that the first year or two, not necessarily, it takes years for them to implement their system, get the right guys in, and I'll say they use the transfer portal really well, because they got Cam Ward, and he's looking.
They did get Cam Ward. Cam is amazing.
I want to say, is
played for last year. He's tall.
I would say he's almost a generational type player. Like, there are a few of those that I would really say that. It'll be interesting to see who gets him when draft day comes. I can say, we all know that I'm a Wisconsin Badger fan, and I feel really bad for Tyler Van Dyke, because he actually transferred from Miami to Wisconsin. They played Alabama this year, or last week.
Yeah.
Or at least Tyler Van Dyke went out in the first series.
Uh-huh.
If you really think about it, you gear up, you train, and you really coach your number one quarterback. And when they go down, especially a program that is in a smaller state and it's doesn't have the notoriety as some of the big programs, your second tier quarterback is going to be less than a lot of other people, like the Michigans of the world, because let's face it, it doesn't have the same, or the Ohio State, it doesn't have the same ring to it. So he went down, and unfortunately he's out for the season. He tore his ACL. So you feel really bad for anybody that's trying to improve themselves and, move on and wants to prove that they can do it in a different system, because he played down here in Miami and he was okay, but he wanted to change, and then he got the change, and now he's going to be out for the season. So
kind of a theme right now in the NFL too, but
it is. Well, let's face it, like my Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love went out the last play, like one of the last series of the game the week before in Philly out in Brazil, and he's out for we don't know how long. I get conflicting. I've read a lot of conflicting, like should they go out and get somebody, to replace him? And then they're like, well, maybe he's only out 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And I would say watching the game this weekend, Malik Willis was
another beat.
I wouldn't say he's a great quarterback, but he's a game manager.
Yeah, I felt that game very well.
He did. And I think they ran a lot more this week too.
Do you want some of my interviews with the players? Like I can email them to you. Some of my interviews with the players from kickoff. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Sorry. And I'm going to interrupt you one more time. And hey, Jeremy, Michigan also played a little school up in Appalachia called Appalachian State. And they got their tushies beat. And it's still memorable because it was like 2010. And I still remember that game. Okay, sorry. Just had to flaunt a little bit. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. Amy. I mean, and I live down in South Florida, so I have to kind of comment on the Tua. They announced that they're putting him on injured reserve, that he's out. Now it's conflicting there too, because I read 4 weeks and now I've heard 9 weeks. So
yeah, I read 9 weeks from Schaffner.
I read 4, but I also read that they went out and they signed quarterback Tyler Huntley off Baltimore's practice squad. Huntley is a 5-year NFL veteran, spent the last 4 years with Baltimore. He was a 2022 Pro Bowl selection. He appeared in 20 games with 9 starts. He completed 221 of 342 passes for 1,957 yards. So he spent the 2024 offseason with Cleveland and the first 2 weeks of the regular season on Baltimore's practice squad. So I feel bad for Tua. And all I'm going to say is I'm not going to judge him. Whatever he decides with his family and the doctors, that's who's got to make the decision. It shouldn't be any one of us. It's got to be up to him making an educated decision with maybe a couple of different doctors.
His wife.
And
because they have a young family. I'm well aware of that, Jeremy, but I did have to brag a little bit. I'm just saying. So I'm sorry that I can mail you one of those T-shirts. I'm sure I can get it because I know how much you love Appalachian and remember that game too. Jeremy's Michigan fan. Anyway, do you know what I love Mike McDaniel said to him though? He said, first and foremost, you are the starting quarterback of your family. Mm-hmm. He was like, money will come. And you know what? He's right, because Tua could go make a lot of money as an analyst. Mm-hmm. He can make a ton of money doing what Cam Newton's doing, doing podcasts all week long. Like, people will listen. He'll get sponsors.
He would be a great quarterback coach.
Uh-huh.
Which is why, because I knew he was kind of like the Fabergé coming into the league. He's already been broken pretty good, coming out of college. I'm like, what if, that first time he took that hit, I was like, what if he decides to be a quarterback coach and implore or share his knowledge and his talents that way and affect the league through his coaching and not by stats. But the thing that I really did enjoy was on one show, I'm just not going to mention their names, but they were talking about him and they said Tua needs to make choices with his in mind a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old Tua, not 20-something-year-old Tua. And I really hope that's what happens because I want Tua to be, we be here. I obviously will not make it when he's 75, but I want him 75, 80 years old living out his dream life. So that's where I see the whole situation. If it was my child, that my wisdom to impart on him is I want you to enjoy your entire life, not your 20s.
Right.
Hey, Rudy is agreeing with you, and Rudy also said that Mancy Teo is horrible on NFL radio, and Tua could easily take his place. So come on, Tua, listen to us. We'll just take 10%, split it between the three of us.
Shoot,
I know.
We'll take 5%, and I'm good.
Let's do 6%, okay? So that way we each get 2.
There you go. There you go. I did something I wanted to bring up before I jump into all of the notable injuries.
Hold on one second. Are you done, Candy?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Sorry, Carrie. I moved you because you were talking right then.
Oh, no. So I looked, I saw this, and this is pretty interesting to me. We talked, and the reason why I want to bring this up is we talked last week about Brady saying that the quarterback position has been dumbed down. So we get people directly on, from college to the passing touchdowns through the first 2 weeks of the season. In 2019 and 22, there was 105 passing touchdowns. In 2020 and 2021, there was 110. Last year, 86. This year, 66. And that was before there was 2 touchdown passes last night. So 68, when just 5 years ago, there was 105. Kind of an interesting stat, not saying anything other than it kind of does fall in line with what Brady had said previously, but kind of an interesting thing.
You know what else it might talk to and speak to the volumes? That the quarterbacks are not playing preseason, and therefore they're not gelling with the receivers in the beginning part of the season, and maybe that's why we're seeing more or less throws and touchdowns.
Well, I think that is exactly what happened. Most definitely happened to Lamar. I also kind of question it with Joe, because obviously those are our first two games that the Chiefs played, and so I saw them, and I'm like, there was not that Lamar we played in January with the championship, and the Lamar we played in September are 2 different Lamars.
I agree, Rudy. He said the first 2 games are an extension of the preseason, and they are. Absolutely. It's an interesting take. I do love that my Andy coach, plays the A team for X amount of run or X amount of plays during the preseason. I love that that Mahomes has a relationship, and they have mini camps where it's nothing related to the football, to the team trainings, but he brings everybody to Texas, and they all work out together, and they start that gelling as a unit even in the middle of summer. So those are things that I think I think that's where you're going to see the desired team. So back to what I was bringing up is, I know we've gone into seasons where we've had a lot of injuries. That's just a thing anymore. But my goodness, the marquee agents or marquee players that have now gone on the injured reserve. We've got CMC. Is that the Madden curse? Because I'm seeing a lot of that. We have Deebo Samuel, wasn't he? Yeah, he was put on the reserve. We've got 2 on the reserve. We've got Hollywood Brown. We've got Jordan. Well, Jordan Love has not been, but he's questionable. He's like week to week. We've got Pacheco that was just put on and had surgery on his leg. You got some good news. You got somebody back.
Huh?
Did y'all just sign somebody back to?
We did. It's a homecoming in Kansas City this week. We brought back Kareem Hunt. I'm really excited to see how that will play out for him.
So I'm not hanging out with strange chicks this time.
Probably should keep him away from the kicking position, because that seems to have caused him problems the first time. But honestly, he was a broke man because he did not get to go that first Super Bowl with us. and I had forgot this, but I saw someone say, he got pulled over on the Super Bowl weekend for speeding that first year. And he was talking to the officer, and he said he had his voice kind of cracked, and he said, I was supposed to be playing for the Super Bowl, but I messed up. So it's going to be interesting to see. Rudy, I have mixed emotions on this, but Andy's a big person about second chances, so I like that about that. He will know or understand the playbook. It's not going to be the same, but he'll understand the playbook and be able to pick up and run with it while we bring Steele and build up his confidence. Because I think Steele's going to be another one. And, and then we also have Samaje Perine that's there that was a late pickup for us as well. So we've got a rookie and two people that I think that once they get comfortable will help. Definitely not replace. We've got CEH on IR for at least 2 more weeks. So there's just a lot of people, and and I'm just hitting the tops because my brain is not functioning fast enough. Ladies, who else is out there that big names that
Derek Brown with the Panthers, he's out. Pacheco, you said. Trying to think. I had this list earlier. Sorry, y'all. It's been a long day. Let me cheat and go to my list that I had the other day.
I'm kind of running through the teams right now. The fact that I am scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling is,
and I'm gonna not lie because it's hitting college hardcore too. Like NC State, Grayson McCall, who was an NIL transfer from Coastal Carolina, and he was doing phenomenal there. Something happened on Saturday, and they were losing to Louisiana Tech until the end of the fourth quarter when they came back. But Grayson McCall was injured, and he's out for the foreseeable future. Oh, thank you, Rudy Cup. Sydney.
The Rams have been hit hard. They have a lot.
Debo's out. Christian's out.
Who else was I going? There was someone else I was just thinking of. AJ Brown is out for at least another 2 weeks, is what he said last night on the phone or on the interview before the game. So we've got him out. I'm just scrolling to this, and I'm not kidding you. I've been scrolling for a long time. Hold on, my phone just went.
So half of Arizona's offensive line is out. Their defensive end, linebacker, cornerback. 3 of their OTs are out.
Belos, no, I have not been to Torrios.
You're back in October.
Yeah, and they beat us. Harbaugh was very nice to us on Sunday, by the way. I will say that. Thanks, John. Appreciate you.
Yeah, like the Rams have an entire page, full screen page of Higbee's out.
Well, here's my problem with Jeremy. I'm going to say this, and sorry for interrupting you. You get a lot of hamstring injuries, and people will say it's for this or that. At the end of the day, if they need a chiropractor on staff, I don't care if you think it's voodoo medicine, whatever. I don't care. But if that chiropractor is keeping the players' backs aligned straight, you're not going to get the hamstring injuries. That's just anatomy.
Correct.
Yeah, also, Brady, I want you to stand because you're going to hit my topic here in a minute too.
Also needs to be where we're not putting our players in danger. We talked about that last week. On these fields, they're designed for soccer or football, not football.
Sorry, Terry.
Well, and we can't be remiss if we didn't talk about
good point, Jeremy.
The place for Wilson, because Wilson's been injured.
Don't get me started on Russell Wilson. He went to NC State. That's all I'm saying.
I know, but he's been injured. So if we're talking about injuries, we got to put everybody there.
Yeah. He is there.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie, what other comments do you have, my darling?
No, that was it. I'm just the marquee, and then the conversations about some of these, are they going to come back? Like CMC, is he going to come back, or is he at the end of his great run? Tua,
No.
is he coming back, or is he at the end
Why
of
are you
his
doing my football crush? You know I love me some CMC.
I know you do, huh?
Hush your face. Hush your face. That's my Homer side coming out. All right. I admit it. Yeah, I agreed. Fields looks phenomenal. And honestly, in my humble opinion, Pete Carroll was the Russell Whisperer. They kind of raised each other a little bit in the NFL, in my humble opinion. And I agree. He'll be back. Christian will be back because honestly, the 49ers losing games they shouldn't. Like, it doesn't surprise me because I knew he was a game changer in Carolina. But the 49ers are so stacked, right? So it was like, whoa. And Debo wasn't hurt until Sunday. So major game changer.
Oh, Hassan Reddick is, I think he's going to come up with a deal because who was the went down for their cornerback went down. So Hassan Reddick will be, the Jets will surely be knocking on his door trying to figure out a way.
Jets, trade him to us. Please give me something else. Okay, so I'm going to go, obviously, on what happened because what happened was pretty unprecedented. However, people in the press and people are trying to make Coach Canales out to be a liar. He never actually lied if you listen to his statement. Now, Bryce Young walked into a scenario last year that was unwinnable. I'm just saying, 6 years of ownership, including interim head coaches. And yeah, there have been a lot of consistent issues. And Darnold knew how to outplay Purdy too. Yeah, that's what I'm getting into. Last year, The Athletic, and I shared this article with you ladies called, it was called The Hunger Games in Carolina. It came out that certain people at the executive level were having coaches tattle on each other, causing a system of distrust. From some of my sources, there was only 2 people in the voting that really wanted to draft Mr. Young anyway. And that makes me sad. And y'all know that I did not want to draft Bryce Young. Y'all also know it has nothing to do with his size. For me, it's because I think Nick Saban is an amazing coach. And he's amazing offensive coach. He's not a good quarterback coach. Now, Rob's gotten mad at me before, Carrie's a fiance, because I have said, no, he doesn't. Who doesn't get a free pass? Oh, yeah, I agree. He never had a chance. And this is going on with what Tom Brady said. And I kind of feel like Tom was talking a little bit about Bryce because he came into a program that was a dumpster fire, that there was no consistency. The kid had 4, and he's a kid. He's still a kid. All 3 of us could be his mamas. Like, literally. And we're all 39. So that tells you how young he is. So he agreed. And I blame that on Saban. Saban hasn't really produced any quarterback caliber and NFL caliber quarterbacks. It took Jalen Hurts 6 years to get away from Nick Saban and under multiple different quarterback coaches, but he had consistency with the Eagles. There's been no consistency. There's been one consistent thing with the Panthers. I'm going to let you guys figure that out for yourself.
Change.
But exactly. But Bryce needed to sit behind a starting quarterback in the NFL. See how it's done. That's why I'm glad that Jordan Love had Aaron Rodgers. That's why I'm glad, even though I hate him, that fire dumpster himself, Mac Jones, had Tom Brady. He didn't learn anything. He had Cam Newton also. But he didn't want to learn. Mac Jones wants to be uncoachable. That's why he's backup. That's why he's sitting there as a backup right now. Now, it's unprecedented. I do believe 100% it's for Bryce's better good and for his future capabilities. Because just like Sam Darnold said about 5 years ago now that he was seeing ghosts, Bryce is seeing ghosts. But I will say Bryce needs to go with the offense. They need to go do some of those trust courses where like they fall into each other. Yeah, we need that to happen. But I will laugh my ass off at whomever, bye Candy,
Ladies,
whomever
it's been
has
great
to catch
meeting
Taylor
you.
Mountain, because he is an amazing guy, but a beast of a man. But no, Broody, you're 100% correct. He was not NFL ready. And
Well,
honestly, last year,
you've got CJ Stroud, who was an anomaly.
yeah, he's a generational quarterback like Cam and Patrick. I mean,
So as an anomaly, he was able to come into the NFL and start playing immediately and make an impact. That's not a normal thing.
no,
They've got Caleb Williams, who has the talent but needs to be developed, not running for
he
his
needs to
life.
take that ego.
And
Yeah, agree.
so I apologize. We've got people coming in for
Okay.
dinner. So
Sorry,
sorry, y'all.
we will reinvestigate the time, but love you guys. Have a good night. Bye, Rob.
Bye.
Paper plates or
No, we use a good place. We use the sunshine.